All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, and rumors and drama. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to Ring of Honor to Impact Wrestling. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1010%. So make sure you guys Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show so you guys can get some notifications when we produce awesome new content. All right, without further ado, we talked about some WWE SmackDown. We talked about Monday Night Raw. Give you guys a little bit of preview of it. Obviously, it did already air on the East Coast with Netflix and stuff like that. I've not checked a single shred of social media. Have not, checked Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. So I'm going in blind. Definitely love doing that. I could probably look up the results and share them with you guys on Monday nights. But, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's not like other sports, journalism where you can just look up the results and be like, okay, bing, bang, boom. Oh, this person had this many incomplete passes. It seemed like this quarterback had a bad day. There's something more about storytelling in terms of professional wrestling that just you kind of have to pay attention to it. I guess you kind of have to watch it. It's special in its own kind of way. It is poetry. It's entertainment. It's cinema, and it's awesome. It's super awesome. That's the reason why I'm a huge wrestling fan, because it's definitely makes you feel kind of. I don't know if I sound like a total dork saying this, but it kind of makes you feel a little alive watching all this stuff. Watching all these guys jumping out the top rope and putting their bodies on the line just to entertain the crowd. Like it's it's kind of crazy. It's professional wrestling, but definitely one of the reasons why I fell in love with it. So without further ado, let's talk about some WWE NXT. Obviously, we're gonna get a huge fallout of what happened on NXT New Year's Evil. Which was good. It was a nice little PLE. It was, I love the fact that Oba Femi, if there's anybody to dethrone Trick Williams for that NXT World Championship, it kind of had to been Oba. Oba, he's been seen in NXT. He already has the credibility. He has the reputation of being a great champion. And Trick Williams, I ultimately thought out of Trick and Oba, whoever loses will probably wind up debuting on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, or maybe even the Royal Rumble. Like, I can see Trick Williams being in the Royal Rumble would be absolutely electric. Hearing whoa, that Trick, it'd be super cool. Like, imagine if Carmelo Hayes started out as number one and number two. Who drew number two, and all of a sudden, whoa, that, like, what I mean? That'd be pretty cool. Would be interesting to find out that happens. If it didn't, if I just give you guys a prediction that's going to come true, I got to be honest, I'm a little excited. That'd be pretty cool. It's NXT's in good hands with Oba. All right, we got Nathan Fraser and Axiom defending their WWE NXT World Tag Team Championships against OTM, Lucien Price and Bronco Nima. I gotta be honest, I'm not a huge OTM guy. I'm not. I could see why they might pick up the dub here. I could definitely see that, but I've always kind of thought to myself that Axiom and Fraser belonged on the main roster. They would definitely kind of lift the Raw Tag Team division, and they belong on that division. I definitely, the moment they come to Monday Night Raw, I'm sorry, but they're automatically the number one tag team. I do love the War Raiders. I do like an aging new day. And it sounds kind of weird. JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Judgment Day. I feel like they would add a little bit of spice to the Raw Tag Team division. Obviously, kind of what the Motor City Machine Guns did on Friday Night SmackDown with Nathan Fraser and Axiom coming would be pretty badass for Monday Night Raw. But giving the titles, putting the titles on OTM, like, I feel like the best part of OTM is Jada Parker. But talented superstars, can they be formidable tag team champions? definitely, they definitely have that, they've had Nathan Fraser and Axiom held it for quite some time when, month after month after PLE, people thought, even me, including me, I was like, okay, now this is when they drop the titles. Oh, now this is when they drop the titles. Obviously they defeated Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin to win those titles. OTM, I just don't feel like they have that big, bad enough star power. But they're kind of cocky. They're heelish. So if there's anybody that's gonna pick up the tag team division or have the belts on them, it would probably be OTM. Why not? Let's kind of see how this works out. Because obviously no more. There's no more Chase U anymore, which is kind of a damn shame, which is kind of crazy. But maybe Rich Holland and Pete Dunne come back together and they form a tag team. Right now it is still up in the air what's going to happen with the tag team division. But I just OTM, they could do it, but I just don't want them to do it. But whatever happens. It's all gravy. It's already water under the bridge. We got a women's tag team number 1 contenders match. We have Metaphor, the team of Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend taking on the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They already got it. Both of these teams have already kind of had a shot at the gold. Metaphor, I do feel like the Metaphor will wind up on SmackDown. I do. I don't know why. I feel like they will. Noam Dar comes back. Obviously Aura Mensa. Lash Legend is absolutely impressive. She's definitely, she could be a WWE Women's Champion, like on the main roster. I'm that damn confident that she can be. She has that star power. She has that it factor. She has that. Yeah, you know what? I'm good. I'm better than you, and you know it. So, and Jakar Jackson too. Jakar Jackson, she puts on some pretty damn good matches. She definitely. Every single time she's in a match, she's selling moves. She's making her opponents look strong. She's making her opponents look like they are like the best wrestlers in the world. So that's something cool that Jakar Jackson could definitely do. Lash Legend, obviously. One of my favorite wrestlers when I started watching, when I really started to get into WWE NXT. When I feel like I got into it like really, really hardcore once when Noam Dar actually got injured. I think he got beat up by Ethan Page, I think it was. That's when I started really getting into the NXT. But I have forever, ever watched Raw and SmackDown. I've always, that's my shiz. I loved watching those shows. Kind of kept tabs on, WWE NXT. I was like, it's all right. It's cool and all. I absolutely loved the 205 Live, one of my favorite shows. Obviously not that's not nowhere. But I don't know. I feel like NXT has, they've picked it up. They've, kicked complete ass. And, that yellow and gold brand or yellow, what is it, black and gold? I think they call themselves black and gold brand is, simply doing amazing. And, I would love to see Metaphor win this match. We have an NXT's Women's Championship number 1 contenders match. No, North American, sorry, excuse me. Shotzi takes on Stephanie Vaquer. This is a great time for Vaquer to ultimately, I feel like she's going to win. But this is an important match for her because this is going to be a great way to see how she can actually, dictate a match, going one-on-one. I want to see good, I don't want to see any miscues. And although, it's, you can't really blame Stephanie for not knowing that much English. But if, she gets it. That's the reason why Shawn Michaels and Julia have kind of, Shawn Michaels in terms of Julia and Stephanie Vaquer kind of baby steps tiptoeing because sometimes it's it's hard and you don't want to not give somebody with complete special physical talents in the wrestling ring a chance because there's a language barrier. Definitely don't want. Obviously, look what's happening with the NXT Women's Division. It is on absolute fire. So Shawn Michaels obviously doing a great job when it comes to that. But I see Vaquer winning. Eddie Thorpe and Lola Vice both win Battle Royals to get a number 1 shot at their respective division's main title. Will we get a Julia title celebration? What's next for the Prodigy? Is she going to get her rematch clause back? Or will she debut at the Royal Rumble? That would be pretty great for her. Obviously, I don't think she'll win. I don't think she'll win the Royal Rumble, but it would be an absolute wild card for her to do so. But if there's anybody that could definitely prove the naysayers wrong that, oh, it'd be a stupid idea to have an NXT wrestler win, like, and then come and then, it's got to be Roxanne Perez. Like, if anybody can prove all the naysayers wrong, it's got to be her, because she's extremely talented. Great. One of the best women's wrestlers I've seen in my generation thus far. And right now in the women's division, like Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, people are waiting. People are on pins and needles waiting for their return. Sort of like, oh, one of those girls are going to win the Royal Rumble. But I got to be honest, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see them win the Royal Rumble. I want to see Becky, she's going to come back. I would love to see her go up against Lyra Valkyria. That would be pretty interesting because both of them obviously have a huge respect for each other. It was Lyra Valkyria taking the NXT Women's Championship off of Becky Lynch when she had her brief stint with, going back down to NXT. I feel like that would be a nice little feud to start. But not a feud, but kind of like a respective, match against each other, kind of thing. Leave all the animosity in the ring, So I think that would be super badass. And Charlotte Flair, she could easily win a match at the Elimination Chamber to take on, Tiffany Stratton. So that kind of ultimately leaves, or Rhea Ripley. But that ultimately leaves the Women's Royal Rumble absolutely wide open. Because I don't think Bianca's gonna do it. Jade could do it. Jade could possibly do it, thus creating more of a wedge between her and Belair. Kind of what Nia Jax was saying, how you were jealous of Jade because you weren't the strongest anymore. You weren't the fastest. You weren't the craziest. So then it's kind of hit home. I feel like that was a nice little promo that she cut there. Also, we're gonna get Ethan Page, Javon Evans. We're probably gonna get more of their feud started. Honestly, I can't wait. All right, guys. So hey, do not go anywhere. We're gonna talk about our next segment. We got WWE introduces Penta El Cerro Maito to the WWE. Pentagon Junior, Penta, however you guys want to call him. He's in WWE now. We're gonna talk about future storylines, kind of his past, what exactly would be good for him in terms of storylines, and what would be bad for him. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 15 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere.